Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning: this video is a candid exploration of the 2016 novel, by E.K. Johnston, Ahsoka. This video will also cover other Star Wars-related topics as well. This video may also include discussions of violence, sexual situations, and drug use. By viewing beyond this point, you take responsibility for choosing to watch this video. All views expressed in this video are mine alone, and do not reflect any person or people, or any group or groups. Thank you, and please have a great day.
Hello and welcome to this video. I hope everyone is doing well, hope everyone's having fun, and I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today's video, I'm going to go over the 2016 E.K. Johnston Ahsoka novel. She actually voiced Ahsoka in the animated stuff, the Clone Wars, Rebels, Tales of the Jedi, anything animated. E.K. Johnston voiced Ahsoka. Live action Ahsoka is done by the phenomenal actress Rosario Dawson. I gotta learn how to talk. Rosario Dawson liked the character of Ahsoka before it was cool to like the character of Ahsoka. The story goes that Rosario Dawson, from the moment Ahsoka was introduced as a Star Wars character, reached out and said, look, if you ever do her in live action, give me a shot, let me audition. I so want to do this character. And because the first probably 3 or 4 seasons of the Clone Wars, the animated Clone Wars, excuse me, Ahsoka was hated by the fandom in general, because she was written as a little know-it-all brat, cocky, just a advanced she had advanced intelligence for her age. Her abilities were a little bit better than just about everyone else in her class, and she knew it. And the reason why I'm giving you this background is kind of fill in the blanks till we get to the actual events of the novel. Kind of hopefully pre-answer questions. Like I said, and Rosario Dawson wanted to do her from the word, from Jumpstart. Ahsoka was made Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. He didn't have a choice in the matter. It was hopes that they would chill each other out. She chilled out. He became Darth Vader. So yeah, Yoda's plans didn't go exactly how Yoda planned them. She learns a lot. She hangs out with Anakin, her master, and Obi-Wan, and people that frequently hang out with Anakin. So she grew up with hanging out with Obi-Wan, hanging out with Mace Windu, just all the legends from the movies. The 7 episodes of the animated, or the 7 seasons, not 7 episodes, 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. You get her character. She grows, she changes, she mellows out, she matures. There are some episodes that they play with her. They play with her sexuality, which is, if you go and you look at the ages of the characters involved, it comes across. You realize it's kind of creepy, because depending on the continuity, if you're going with Lucas continuity, Ahsoka is 13 at the beginning of the Clone Wars. Clone Wars lasts 3 years. So she's 16 in the Lucas continuity. In the Disney, after Disney bought it, they upped her age to 14. So she's 17 at the end of the Clone Wars. So either way, when they have the basically Bo-Katan Kryze is kind of sizing her up for conquest in some of the episodes, and some of the fandom have read between the lines and basically said Bo-Katan was hitting on Ahsoka. And this is near the middle, so she's 14, 15 years old. Bo-Katan is said to be 19, 20 years old. So yeah, it's, it's kind of interesting, creepy. The fact that the stuff with Bo-Katan is kind of veiled, kind of, like I said, read between the lines, where they have Ahsoka have a crush or fall in love with a male character, which is at the time that the series, the Clone Wars animated was coming out, was the safe way to go. So yeah, there's that. But let's get into the novel. The novel, like I said, is a great novel. It's not overly written. It's not overly. They don't try to cram a bunch of stuff in there that doesn't need to be in there. It starts out 1 year after Anakin Skywalker murdered all the little kids in the Jedi Temple. The Emperor's come to power. Clone Force 99 is out doing their little rebellious thing. You got many moving parts. Ahsoka is laying low. We get flashbacks, which are wonderfully written, and the way they're put together in the book, they kind of start out each chapter, and the flashbacks go back to the Battle of the Siege of Mandalore, when they hunt down Darth Maul, capture Darth Maul, Order 66 happens. You have the wreck, you have the death of all the clones, you have Ahsoka and Rex escaping, all done with flashbacks, and they're well done in the book. However, in the audiobook, they're quite jarring because you don't expect it. There's no transition, nothing, just boom. And then when you're reading the novel, you finish the chapter and you have it. It's in a different writing style. Everything's italicized. you're like, oh, this is not part of the main storyline. Ahsoka's kind of a mechanic for hire. She does odds and bits, works for people. Hasn't used her Jedi abilities in a while. Gets put into a position where she has to. She kind of reveals herself, which gets the Empire's attention, gets the Inquisitor's attention. There's some really good interaction. She cares for the people she's fighting for. She cares. There's the group of people she's trying to save in this story are fractured. These people are damaged. The Empire has damaged them really bad. Just mentally broke them. So you've got extremists with them. You got a mixture of these people she's trying to look out for, and they can't get along with them. They can't get along with themselves. And there's some really cool scenes in the caves, really cool scenes in mountainous country. We get Ahsoka building her new lightsabers, the white-bladed ones. She transforms the blood crystals of the Inquisitor she kills. Fifth brother, I believe. Might be the sixth brother. And she builds her own lightsabers. And like always, I'm hitting the high points in the story because you could really, I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, or better yet, if you're an Ahsoka fan, this is a good novel to pick up and read. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, or just a casual Star Wars fan, it is a good story. It's a good story, I would say, for anyone 10 years of age or older. Like I said, they don't, there's not, it's a bare bones story. But it's a well told bare bones story. The characters are doing what they need to do. There's not a lot of extra drama. There's some suspense in it. There's some mystery. There's some isn't she going on as far as, is she going to embrace her Jedi stuff to save these people? Is she going to try to save the people and not reveal her Jedi stuff? Is she going to basically fuck off the people? And some of that is very well written. I would love to see Johnston do some more Ahsoka novels. Just because I think she inhabited that character, and she did for so long, and now she shares the character with Rosario Dawson. I think there could be some really awesome collaboration between those two. They could probably do some really wild novels. Like I said, it's great. And I would strongly, you know, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, especially if you're an Ahsoka fan, you've probably already read this, probably read the cover off it. I don't believe it has a too shocking cover. Yeah, it has the same without all the words, which that's a cool picture. I've seen it where they've taken the actress who played the young Ahsoka in the show and photoshopped her into this. She's kind of young. So yeah, it's very interesting. Like I said, Ahsoka's one of those characters. She grew on me. Though I have to say, just because of what was going on in my life, I hadn't watched any of the Clone Wars cartoon. I haven't watched any of the Rebels. It had come out. In fact, before we moved out here, I had seen a couple episodes of Rebels on TV, and they were out of order. The one I saw had Ahsoka in it, and that was my exposure to Ahsoka before watching the Clone Wars, animated Clone Wars. And it was the episode in which she discovers that Darth Vader is Anakin, where her and Kanan reach out through the Force and all that good stuff. So I was like, what? And I thought that Chopper is now like my favorite Star Wars droid, was an R2-D2 knockoff. And that's kind of how he started. I mean, let's be fair, that's kind of how he started. But all that aside, and I was like, who is this? Then I couldn't catch I was still working TDC at the time, and our shift hours had to be shifted because of traffic and road use, and Huntsville's growing and all that. And I only ever saw 1 or 2 episodes of Rebels. Then we moved out. I retired from the state. We moved out here. We got settled in, and I was able to watch them. And I have to tell you, that character, Ahsoka, had to grow on me. She just had to go. It was like, and I like the Anakin. The way Anakin is portrayed in the animated series is so much better than the way he's portrayed in the movies, especially the Revenge of the Sith movie. Hayden Christensen, poor guy, feel for you. He caught a lot of shit that he didn't deserve. Same with the actor Amon Best, who played Jar Jar Binks. He caught a lot of shit that he didn't deserve. They're actors, and I think that's when I started to come around on the difference between actors and the executives and the directors and stuff like that, because the actors, they're doing what the director's telling them. And like I said, Amon Best, who played Jar Jar Binks, caught a lot of shit he didn't deserve. Same with a lot those Hayden Christensen. There's a lot of actors and a lot of different franchises that have caught shit for simply doing what the director told them to do. So yeah, and that's just kind of a thing with me that's grown up with me since the release of the prequels. Like I said, wonderful character. The problem I had, especially getting the graphics that have been floating around, is Ahsoka Tano is probably one of the most sexualized Star Wars character there is. Non-human sexualized. Her and Hera Syndulla probably. They're both right up there. So finding images where fans haven't over-sexualized them is hard. So that's why the images floating around this video are kind of weird. Like I said, this was I had come in full intention doing this video as this novel, but I kind of got sidetracked. I think it's a better video I think I'm just going to call this Ahsoka, Star Wars, and Rambling. I think that's what I think this is what this is going to be a good video for. So yeah, it's a good novel. Check it out, please. I don't get sponsored by anybody, but things that I feel that are really good reads that even if somebody doesn't like it, having that reference is pretty good. There are things that I've read that I've went, okay, this isn't the best thing I've read, but you know what? I have this knowledge, and I have this especially helps out in like legacy IPs. And Star Wars is a legacy IP. Dates all the way back to 1976. I mean, we're looking at, let's see, 86, 96, 2006, 2016. Next year, 2026, will be 50 years. 50 years. Wow, you know, when I was like 7 or 8 when I watched this movie, it was like, blew my mind, still does. The fact that we have this stuff that goes this far. We've had some clunkers, you know, like the holiday special, the Obi-Wan Kenobi live action miniseries show, whatever. We've had some really good ones. Andor, Ahsoka, you know, it's when something is damn near a 50-year legacy, 49 years at this point, or May 1st be 49 years. You're gonna have clunkers. You're gonna have missteps. It's just, you don't have to hate. There's a lot of good novels out there, a lot of good artists, a lot of good people. I can't think of the author, but he wrote the Thrawn series, created the character of Thrawn. There's several different ones. There's one that's a really good story that I have. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think it's Brothers in Arms. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi as Qui-Gon's Padawan. And there's one with Ben Kenobi shortly after the fall of the Jedi. But it takes place about the same time this one does. The Ahsoka does. Really good novels. And plus, I like it when people read, and I don't care if it's a audiobook, on a Kindle, on a phone, on a computer, or hardcover, or traditionalist hardcover like this. It doesn't matter if it's a novel. No, it doesn't matter if it's all words. It doesn't matter if it's a comic book, because it doesn't matter if it's a comic book, because the act of reading, of looking at words, processing them through your memory, giving them their proper sound, it's stimulating the brain, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're reading Harlequin romance novels, the works of Dostoevsky, comic books, Robert Heinlein, Isaac Asimov, Adolphus Huxley. You know, it doesn't matter. It's the physical act of looking at a word, reading the word, and absorbing that knowledge actually is healthy for your brain. So, we're going to go ahead and call this good here. And remember, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.